Imagine a world plunged into darkness the moment the sun sets. No streetlights, no Netflix, no late-night scrolling. Your evening entertainment? Maybe a book by candlelight, if you were lucky. This was the reality for almost all of human history. Life was dictated by the sun. Work began at dawn and ended at dusk. Cities were quiet, almost eerie places at night. Communication was slow, limited to letters carried by hand or horse. Industry was powered by muscle, water, or wind. It was a world of physical limits, a world waiting for a spark of genius. That spark wasn't a single flash of lightning, but a long, flickering journey of human curiosity. For centuries, people had noticed strange phenomena. Ancient Greeks discovered that rubbing amber against fur made it attract light objects, like feathers. They called it electron, the Greek word for ember, and that's where we get our word electricity. But for over 2,000 years, it remained little more than a party trick, a curious, static cling. Fast forward to the 17th and 18th centuries. The Age of Enlightenment was dawning, and scientists were obsessed with unraveling the universe's secrets. Thinkers like William Gilbert, Queen Elizabeth I's physician, began to systematically study magnetism and static electricity, realizing they were two different forces. Then came Benjamin Franklin and his famous and incredibly dangerous kite experiment in 1752. By flying a kite in a thunderstorm, he proved that lightning was a form of electrical energy. This was a monumental leap. Electricity wasn't just a parlor game anymore. It was a powerful, natural force that could be studied, and maybe, just maybe, harnessed. But how do you capture lightning in a bottle? The next big breakthrough came from Italy. Alessandro Volta in 1800 created the first true battery, the voltaic pile. By stacking discs of copper and zinc separated by brine-soaked cloth, he produced a steady, continuous electrical current. This was the game changer. For the first time, humanity had a reliable, portable source of electricity. Scientists across Europe went wild, using Volta's battery to power all sorts of experiments, splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen, and discovering new chemical elements. The door to the electric age had been unlocked. Now that we had a current, the next question was, what can we do with it? The first major application was communication. In the 1830s, inventors like Samuel Morse developed the telegraph. Using long wires and a system of electrical pulses, dots and dashes, messages could be sent across vast distances almost instantly. Imagine the shock. A message that once took weeks to cross the Atlantic could now arrive in minutes. The world suddenly felt much, much smaller. Railroads used it to coordinate trains, businesses used it to place orders, and newspapers used it to get breaking news. The information age had begun, powered by simple electrical clicks. But the real revolution, the one that would truly banish the night, was still to come. The challenge was light. Scientists knew that passing electricity through a wire could make it glow, but there was a problem. The wires, or filaments, would burn out almost instantly. The race was on to find a material that could glow brightly for a long time without disintegrating. Enter Thomas Edison. Now, Edison didn't invent the light bulb out of thin air. Many others were working on the same problem. But Edison was a master of innovation and, just as importantly, commercialization. In his famous laboratory at Menlo Park, he and his team tested thousands of different materials for the filament. They tried everything. Finally, in 1879, they succeeded with a piece of carbonized bamboo fiber. It wasn't just that it worked. It glowed for over 1,200 hours. But a light bulb is useless without a socket to screw it into. And a socket is useless without wires connected to a power source. Edison's true genius was in creating the entire system. He developed generators, switches, fuses, and a plan for a central power station to deliver electricity to homes and businesses. In 1882, his Pearl Street station in Lower Manhattan fired up, lighting up 1 square mile of the city. For the first time, people could flip a switch and flood their homes with clean, steady, artificial light. The world was forever changed. Night was no longer an obstacle. Factories could run 24/7. Social life could extend long after sunset, and cities began to glow with a newfound energy. While Edison was championing a system of direct current, or DC, another brilliant mind was working on a different idea. Nikola Tesla, a Serbian-American inventor who once worked for Edison, was a passionate advocate for alternating current, or AC. The two became fierce rivals in what's known as the War of the Currents. Edison's DC was safer at lower voltages, but couldn't travel long distances efficiently. Tesla's AC, on the other hand, could be easily stepped up to high voltages to travel hundreds of miles with little energy loss, and then step down to safer levels for use in homes. Ultimately, AC's efficiency won out. With the financial backing of George Westinghouse, Tesla's system made it possible to build huge power plants, like the one at Niagara Falls, and send electricity across the entire country. This AC grid is the foundation of the electrical system we still use today. Every time you plug something into a wall outlet, you're tapping into Tesla's vision. The 20th century was a whirlwind of electrical innovation. Electricity powered everything. It cooled our food in refrigerators, cooked it in ovens, and cleaned our clothes in washing machines. It brought entertainment into our homes through the radio and then the television. It powered the factories that built our cars and the skyscrapers that reshaped our cities. Then came the next leap: electronics. The invention of the transistor in 1947 was the key. This tiny electrical switch replaced bulky, inefficient vacuum tubes and paved the way for the digital revolution. Computers, which once filled entire rooms, could now fit on a desk, and eventually in our pockets. The Internet, a global network powered by countless servers and miles of fiber-optic cables humming with electrical signals, connected humanity in a way that even the telegraph couldn't have imagined. Today, we live in a world saturated with electricity. It's so fundamental that we only notice it when it's gone. A power outage feels like a step back in time. Our entire modern civilization, our communication, our economy, our healthcare, our entertainment runs on a constant, invisible flow of electrons. From the massive data centers that store our collective knowledge to the tiny electrical impulses that fire in our own brains. Electricity is the lifeblood of the 21st century. And the story isn't over. We're now facing the challenge of generating electricity sustainably, moving away from fossil fuels and towards renewable sources like solar, wind, and geothermal. We're redeveloping smarter grids to manage power more efficiently and creating electric vehicles to clean up our transportation. The next chapter of electricity is about making it cleaner, smarter, and more accessible for everyone on the planet. From a mysterious static cling on a piece of amber to the force that powers our entire global society. The story of electricity is the story of human ingenuity. It's a story of curiosity, rivalry, and relentless innovation that transformed our world from darkness to light. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this journey through history, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about how our world works. See you in the next video.